First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me at this conference, and I also thank Dr. Frédéric Chanzon, the Embassy of France, the Peruvian RPV project, and the Universidad Nacional de Ingenieria de Lima for giving me the opportunity to build collaborations with Peruvian scientists. Well, my talk is devoted to solar cells, which are made from organic materials or from nanocomposites, that is to say, in our case, hybrid blends of nanocrystals and pi-conjugated polymer. First, I will explain very briefly what are organic electronics and why should we use it. Then I will give the basics of organic solar cells, and the main part of my talk will be devoted to the different strategies that you can develop in order to increase the power conversion efficiency of organic solar cells. And finally, I will focus on an example of the study of electronic properties in organic materials, and I will take the example of electrostatic force microscope. Organic electronics are also called plastic electronics, and they are based on conductive polymer or small molecules, and also by extension with you can also add the blends of these polymers or small molecules with nanocrystals. So here is the chemical structure of polymers, which is polyacetylene. You have here a backbone of carbon atoms with an alternance of simple and double carbon-carbon bonds. And this alternance is called conjugation. And because of this conjugation, the electrons are delocalized along this backbone, and so that this material has a certain conductivity. But you can have a much higher conductivity, you can have a very high hole conductivity if you dope this polymer, for example, with using oxidation. And this high conductivity in doped polyacetylene was obtained in 1977, and it opened the field of plastic electronics. And for the present, using conjugated polymer, you can cover a wide range of conductivity, starting from the insulators up to metals. What are the advantages of organic materials compared to inorganic semiconductor technologies? First, organic materials are low-weight materials. They are also low-cost materials compared to inorganic semiconductors, which require very high purity. For example, as it's the case for silicon. They are also flexible materials, so that you can print them on in rotor facilities, like here. So you see that you can print very large areas, and you have very low fabrication cost. And because they are flexible materials, you can also put them on a wide range of substrate with different shape and so on. But for the present, performances of organic materials are lower compared to inorganic semiconductors. They also have a low integration density, and depending on the materials, they can have a partial degradation due to sun, air, or heat. So that some of these materials require encapsulation to be protected. Well, organic semiconductors can be used, I would say, for everything that you can have with inorganic semiconductors. For example, you can have organic light-emitting diodes. It's already the case in most of the display of your MP3 player. And industrials are also able to produce TV monitors made with organic light-emitting diodes. You can also have organic field effect transistor for logic circuitry, and one of the goals in the future is to be able to produce organic laser diodes, but it's not already the case. And of course, you can also have organic solar cells, and this is the subject of my talk. Here is the principle of organic solar cell. So what you need first is to have an electron donor, which in our case it is a pi conjugated polymer. And here you have a poly-3-hexylthiophane called P3HT. And this is one of the most famous pi conjugated polymer for solar cells. You also need an electron acceptor. For example, here you have PCBN. This is a molecule based on C16 fluorine. So when you mix these two components in the appropriate solvent, you obtain a liquid. It's like an ink, so that you can spread it on your substrate, or you can print it using row-to-row facilities. And here is the electronic structure of the material that you obtain. Here you have the anode. Here you have the HOMO and the LUMO level of the donor. And here you have the HOMO and the LUMO and the HOMO level of the acceptor. And here you have the cathode. Well, the HOMO, this is the highest occupied molecular orbital, whereas the LUMO, this is the lowest unoccupied molecular orbital. And the difference between these two energy levels corresponds to the energy gap of the material, and this is very important, as explained previously Dr. Frédéric Chandaison. Well, when the light arrives on your device, you have the electron which is here receive the energy of the light, so you have the creation of an exciton, which is a pair of a hole and electron. So the electron goes from here up to here. So here you have the electron, and here the electron is not more here, so you have a hole. And due to different affinities, the dissociation of this exciton occurs at this interface between the donor and the acceptor, so that the electrons propagate in the LUMO level of the acceptor and gets in the cathode, whereas the hole stay in the HOMO level of the donor and is catched by the anode. So that it shows that with light in such system you are able to produce electricity, and this is of course the goal of solar cell.